It's 7 o'clock in the morning when the classic race cars in Mexico's road race La Carrera Panamericana are ready for the start from Morelia to Guanajuato, an old miner town in the middle of Mexico. And in spite of many race cars in narrow streets, like each day everybody starts in time. From the start in Morelia, it goes to the beautiful city of San Miguel de Allende, where the cars will be serviced for the next speed stages. Striking car is this Mini Cooper with a supercharged Honda Civic engine. Later today we witnessed the speed of this car. 6 cars out in the race in La Carrera Panamericana. And like each year, the heavy American classic supercars climb their way up in the ranking. The Studebakers are leading the race, and also the Belgian pilot Rafael van der Straat is still racing for the podium in Zacatecas, until we find him crashed in one of the speed stages. You're okay?
Ouais, pas de problème. On est juste posé.
We have to go on.
C'est bête, hein?
See you tonight. Take care. I'm glad that you're okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
No problem.
Bye. Later on, Rafael explains what happened.
Ben voilà, j'ai fait une petite boulette. C'est ce qu'on dit chez nous. Et voilà, dans un virage assez rapide vers la droite, l'arrière a délesté. J'ai eu un moment d'hésitation. On est parti complètement de travers, on a fait un tête à queue et on est resté bloqué dans l'herbe. Impossible d'en ressortir tout seul. On a essayé avec des branches, on a essayé avec un piquet qu'on a trouvé sur place, rien à faire. On est resté planté dedans et on a dû attendre que toutes les voitures soient passées pour qu'on puisse nous tirer en dehors. Voilà, mais on est toujours là et avec le sourire.
A typical Mexican scene when the cars arrived in San Miguel de Allende for the service. Hayden Grundijk's Cadillac reaches the service on a trailer, and the mechanics are finding out what's wrong with the car.
We lost a rear brake caliper, and it was due to a brake caliper bracket breaking. But we lost it after race stages. We were on a transit, and my guys were already here at crew. Swung back with the truck and trailer. We're here. I think we have about 25 minutes to stay in the race with
no lost time
penalties. Not yet. So we're gonna push through, and while we're doing that, I'm grabbing a little taco.
Mechanics in the race world must be fast, good and creative. And Grundijk's mechanics are very fast and very creative.
What we did, we lost the rear brakes, and what we're doing is blocking up the balance bar because it acts as a proportioning valve in this thing. So, yes sir, you're out of gear. So what we're doing is locking up the dead master cylinder. It's feeding the back brakes. We're gonna send him through the next speed stages with front brakes only. Leave the rear brakes dead, and and just kind of wing it and let him be a maniac like he's good at.
La Carrera Panamericana has extra emotions for you because your father did it.
Yes, of course. I have beautiful feelings and memories from my father because he competed in the first 3 editions in the Panamericana, and that is the reason because I'm so excited to run in this race.
Grundijk makes it to the next speed stage in time, and like all other races, they continue doing what they came for. Racing full speeds on the special stages, where they have no eye for the beautiful landscapes, because racing demands full concentration. The co-pilot reads the pace notes in the road book and tells the driver what bends are coming up, and the pilot has to stick to the information of the co-pilot. One mistake can be fatal in the only left road race in the world. The Porsche seems to have a technical problem, but fortunately the driver parked it on the safe side of the track. But nevertheless, the other pilots are warned by a spectator. We're on board with Pedro Vidal and José Abreu in the Mini Cooper, and they're close to overtaking the Volvo Amazon. The navigator pushes his driver, and in the same time he's telling him the pace notes. The situation in the car seems tense, and mostly that's not a good sign. You can hear the doubting of the driver when he releases the throttle, but the navigator wants him to pass. On a long straight with a light right curve in the end, the driver dares to overtake now. It's clear that the driver in the Volvo still hasn't seen the Mini yet, and it stays on his line and comes to the inside. And there the two cars touch and the Mini goes round and rolls over. We are the first to arrive, and after the okay of the doctor, we help the navigator out of the wreck. The driver breaks 4 ribs, and the navigator tells us what happened in his eyes.
We were passing the Volvo, and he jumped in and hit into the car, and we lost control.
And what about the Volvo?
No, the beige Volvo. We were passing the beige Volvo. We honked the horn.
But he continued.
Yeah, he passed through, and then he collided with us, and we flipped.
You're okay?
Yeah, fine.
Okay.
I'm fine.
A few hours later, Roger Sullivan, the driver of the Volvo, explained what he saw.
We're starting to do the turn-in, and the first thing we noticed with regard to the Mini was they struck our right front fender behind the tire with their left front tire, and then they did a loop right in front of us. We never knew they were back there. They passed us on the right. He's supposed to pass on the left. We never heard a sound. Our car's fairly loud. We're wearing helmets. We're using the communication system. Sound is not good. And of course, with the Hans devices and the nets, your right side peripheral vision is terrible.
The only question left is why the Volvo didn't stop when they have seen that the Mini rolled over, which implicates a serious crash. A few kilometers further, the Belgian driver Mark de Vries is also out of the race, and he knows why.
Too fast in the right-hand corner, and went off the throttle, and the rear came out, and that's it. Well, hit the rock in the back. So
8 cars out when we arrive in Guanajuato that night. And the daily ritual of signing autograms again takes away the fatigue from the drivers. With the finish in Zacatecas coming in sight, problems appear for many teams. Douglas and John Handsome are doing all they can to keep their Volvo in the race.
The big problem from the first day is the problems with the car. We've had oil and alternators going almost every day, putting in 3 or 4 quarts. It's crazy.
Yeah, we give the car a hard time. It's not entirely unreasonable that a 40-year-old car might have a few problems, but we've had, I think, more than our fair share. Everything from a fire to who knows what. But there we go. Another day, another problem. We'll do just fine today, I'm sure.
And so also today they can continue their dream to race La Carrera Panamericana together. And race director Eduardo Leon wishes them a nice racing day. The powerful Cadillac of Hayden Grundijk is very fast. Almost too fast.
Para bailar la bamba se necesita una poca de gracia. Una poca de gracia, otra cosita y arriba y arriba. Ay, arriba y arriba y arriba iré. Yo no soy marinero. Yo no soy marinero, por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré. Para subir al cielo se necesita una escalera grande y otra chiquita y arriba y arriba. Ay, arriba y arriba y arriba iré. Yo no soy marinero, por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré. Cuando canto la bamba, yo estoy contento.
The next speed stage is on the oval of Aguascalientes, and that's a real American racing game, which will give the European drivers a hard time. Rafael van der Straten, though, has some experience with these kind of racetracks.
Il y a 2 semaines, le circuit de Homestead Miami, mais pas du tout le même revêtement. Donc ici, j'ai été voir un petit peu à quoi ça ressemblait, si c'était abrasif ou pas. Ça a l'air très très abrasif, donc on va voir.
Racing on an oval looks simple, but it requires complete different handlings than road racing. There are no fast or slow corners, but any mistakes leads to severe damages to the cars because of the concrete walls, which are the only barriers to protect the public. There goes Rafael van der Straten, followed by the experienced Michel Jourdain, also in a Studebaker. Van der Straten can keep up with Jourdain pretty well as they set fast lap times. But then, as our camera is waiting for Van der Straten, we hear his tires as we just missed him crashing. Too bad for the Belgium driver in his first La Carrera Panamericana. But to our big surprise, we see him passing at full speed again, leaving a real smoke trail. If that's a tire smoking, he could get himself into much bigger problems. But he brings back the car into the paddock in one piece. On our way to Aguascalientes, we meet Van der Straten again, and it seems that the impact of the crash was bigger than first expected. Now it's time for an explanation.
Eh bien, les 2 ou 3 premiers tours, absolument rien. Tout allait très bien. Je pense que là, je faisais un très très bon temps. Et j'ai voulu essayer 1 mètre plus haut. Et malheureusement, j'ai pas pensé que c'était tellement sale, tellement glissant que l'arrière est parti. J'ai pu rattraper un petit peu la voiture et puis elle est repartie dans le mur. Et voilà. Et voilà.
Maintenant ?
Et maintenant, ben, on va voir. Je ne sais pas si les gars de chez Vega vont pouvoir réparer. J'espère, parce que j'ai envie de continuer.
On va boire un bière.
The tension rises at the start of the last day in La Carrera Panamericana, and when all the co-drivers wait for the starting list, to our big surprise we see the Corvette of Michael Campaign lined up. And also Jochem Maas can't believe that the car is fixed again.
It doesn't look too fresh, but...
No, that's this side, but the other side looks brand new, eh? So if I want to sell the car ever, I'll just show them the right one.
We zijn dus begonnen hier vandaag weer en de auto is weer gemaakt. We hebben daar veel tranen en tijd om gehaald. Na een dagje dan herpak je weer en dan ga je denken van nou wat kunnen we doen om de auto te repareren. En dit is het resultaat van de auto. En we staan weer aan de start, dus we hopen vandaag weer goed tegenaan te kunnen.
Father and daughter Hakema are still in the race with their Mustang after a bunch of problems which are hopefully all fixed now.
3 dagen geleden of 4 dagen geleden ging de 1 cilinder kapot. Die hebben ze uitgeschakeld, de dag daarna de volgende. Toen hebben we een noodreparatie gedaan, maar dat hielp ook niet. En uiteindelijk reden we fantastisch weer. En prrrt, zei hij, en toen was hij helemaal weg. Nou, we hebben een ander team bereid gevonden om hun motor te lenen.
Technical problems, but no damages for the Dutch team, and this we cannot say about the beautiful Cadillac of Hayden Groendijk, which we saw crash the day before.
Came into stage 2 and everything was running really well, but came into a corner a little bit hot, and as you can see on the car maybe later today that had a little bit of damage through the guardrail. But all in all, did pretty well due to the power of the car, we think, and how it was set up. At least we saved it, and we're still here this morning to finish the last day of La Carrera. So.
More than 100 people are working for the organization of La Carrera Panamericana to lead 122 classic race cars through a road race over 3,500 kilometers. Timekeepers, marshals, medicals, race administration, sweepers, hospitality assistants and catering, all assisted by the Mexican Federal Police and all the local authorities of each country the race passes through, give their best to keep this La Carrera Panamericana, which is unique in the world, alive. Alive in the most possible safe way. John Hampson in the Volvo is still going strong in spite of the many problems. And on the last day he shows us that he's even capable of driving fast. At the last service for the finish, drivers look back to a great week, but all of them had their share of problems.
Well, we had some issues, you know. Cable came off the starter, but I snapped onto it, and then I threw the jack on the wire. So all of a sudden, you know, I got no fuel. So I have to connect it so the fuel pump is working on the taillight now.
Now only the legendary mountain of La Bufa separates the drivers from the finish in Zacatecas.
Oh, La Bufa, I love La Bufa. The long corners, the high speed. It's a great place, beautiful place. You can really enjoy driving there. So this is going to be my favorite. Mir Compass is also my favorite, of course, but they're two different things.
At the service we asked Jochem Maas how he's doing.
Leider nicht so ganz gut, weil wir haben mal wieder mit den Kipphebeln Probleme. Und diesmal sieht es gar nicht so gut aus. Also wenn wir hier viel Zeit verlieren, wenn wir den Kopf wechseln müssen.
Schade, weil es ging so gut.
2 Prüfungen. Ja. Ist halt leider so. Panamericana.
For some the race is almost done and they can relax. But others still have to work hard on their cars in a crazy race.
This is a very crazy race for us. We started out very strong, qualified 8th with our little 4-cylinder car against all these big cars, and then had a great first day, and then unfortunately went off the road at the end of the day into a ditch, which was not on the route book. So, but we got it fixed overnight. That put us behind quite a bit. And then a day later, we had all kinds of electrical issues unrelated to the off, and but this is La Carrera, you know, and you keep going, and we're going. So, ándale.
One more stage to go before the finish in Zacatecas after an incredible week, and the drivers are enjoying it until the last minute. Ricardo Trevino and Marco Hernandez win La Carrera Panamericana with only 8 seconds time difference over the whole week.
Y bueno, feliz, realmente feliz, primera vez en la Panamericana, lo logramos.
Doug Muckett and Angela Fuentes in their Oldsmobile finished second. After the heavy crash, it all ends well for Michael and Karen Campaign.
Ja, het was geweldig. Het was vandaag ontzettend lekker gereden, mooie proeven, ontzettend genoten. We moesten wel inhouden van Karin, mijn vrouw, want na de Irak voor fietsje zei ze van nu moet je een beetje rustig aan doen. Maar het was gewoon prachtig en een mooie afsluiting hier en nu gaan we lekker drinken.
All good in the very end. As you know, we started very fast. We were good in the race, but then I had a very special experience. It was just a driving mistake, but my intention was to go on. That's why I'm here. And as a captain, you don't leave your ship alone. So that's the reason why Ute and I made it to this very place.
Well, we visited the countryside a little more than was planned to do, but was just added to the excitement, really, to fix the car after we went off, to focus on getting the team back together again.
And you're a very serious team.
Oh, probably the most serious team. I mean, we rarely smile.
Eh bien, beaucoup de déception parce que j'ai fait quand même une grosse erreur hier. mais beaucoup de joie parce que bon, mes copains sont arrivés et puis alors toute la joie qu'il y a ici, c'est extraordinaire. C'est vraiment extraordinaire.
Die hebben jullie verdiend, jongens?
Ja, die hebben we echt verdiend. Hè? Dat is fantastisch. We zijn rijdend over de finish gekomen. We hebben vandaag nog een motor gewisseld. Het is niet te geloven, maar vanmorgen bij de eerste proef blies die op. En we hebben een motor gewisseld en we hebben rijdend de finish bereikt. Dat is toch niet te geloven dat het mogelijk is.
Wow, yes. The last stage, only 4 seconds between the first and second place.
Wow, again, this year is amazing. The race was very exciting and we are very happy.
I agree completely. It was an amazing, amazing experience.
Are you still friends?
Yes, of course. Yes, and we're ready for the party tonight.
This was the driver, and you know what? I felt comfortable.
All we really care about is winning, yes.
Thank you, Dad.
Wow, what a week. This was La Carrera Panamericana from Zacatecas, Mexico. I'm glad to say that everybody reached a finish well in the end, and also the Mexican people in the hospital are doing well. So after all, a great race. See you next time.
Jetzt ein Arschloch.
Und ich trinke gar kein Bier.